monstrously horny.
It is super horny.
It's terrifyingly horny.
I had to make this fucking video about cats. I'm sorry. Like you knew about the musical. I'd only ever heard about the movie. I mean, I'd heard about the musical, but you actually knew songs from it.
Yeah. Like I've never liked Cats ever. It's a bad musical.
It's one of the best-selling musicals of all time. How can it be bad?
It's garbage. It's absolute garbage.
That's
and
insane.
it always has been.
But
Andrew Lloyd Webber, he's made one good musical.
Which was?
Phantom. That's it.
Oh.
He made Phantom of the Opera. That's the only good musical Andrew Lloyd Webber has ever. Well, Jesus Christ Superstar is pretty good.
Actually, yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, I also like that one.
He's made two good musicals.
Yeah. Is Cats like Jesus Christ Superstar?
Let's really start at the beginning. It starts with, we're in London.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you see the sky. Apparently there's a cat in the sky. I missed that. Oh, by the way, say hi to our reenactor over there. We see him.
Our reenactor?
You know what? The reenactor? They're right here.
Ah, okay.
Our reenactor is right here.
Oh.
Maybe the entire
very
time.
good. Oh.
Depends on how you feel. That's about the size they are in the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Right here.
So at the very beginning of the
opens
movie,
in London, car drives up to this alleyway. You start seeing in these like human-sized places tiny cat people, and it's freaky right off the bat.
Yep.
Because little tiny cat people in human environments is fucking scary.
it's
horrifying.
not good.
Meanwhile, this movie came out in like. This musical came out in like the early 90s, and they used a lot of MIDI sounds for the actual musical.
Yeah.
And then they decided to also do that for the movie. They didn't make it like a big bombastic score. They brought back the MIDIs, like Casio keyboard music.
Why would you modernize the score for a 2009 goddamn team?
It's a movie. You can have like a giant orchestra, but like MIDIs. They're just like Casio keyboard sounds.
Apparently Andrew Lloyd Webber, when it comes to film adaptations, actually has kind of a stranglehold on everyone's dicks. So maybe he went in there and was like, no, you have to keep the music exactly as it was. If you change it, I'll throw a fucking fit.
I don't know, but like the Phantom movie changed things, and he was directly involved in that production. Like they turned a song into a tango, and it wasn't in the musical. They also just stopped singing in the movie, and they're saying the lyrics, where they just stop singing for a bit, and you can tell when they've added something in because that's when they're not singing and they're just talking.
Because they have to give connective tissue, because there are a lot of things that probably got cut or streamlined.
Yeah. But the first song you hear like starts with actually a pretty good hook, like for a melody, like da 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 da, like some Celtic sounding thing, and the lyrics are like a Jeff Foxworthy bit. It's like I'm gonna change the words a little bit, but. If you're blind when you're born, you're a jellicle cat. If you can see in the dark, you're a jellicle cat. Like, that's the lyrics the entire song, is like that format. It's not exactly the same, but it's basically that.
Can you say your bite that is worse than your bark? Then you are a jellicle cat.
Because jellicles can and
jellicles do and jellicles can and it just goes over and over.
Jellicles can. The songs are so repetitive in this musical. So yeah, like a sexy white cat gets thrown.
a sexy white cat. A sexy white cat.
Do you have a better description for that?
No! I don't. Look.
You said it like you were judging me, but I'm not saying I'm attracted to the cat. The cat is made to be sexy.
Yes, it is.
I'm very much not, because it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, no, it's not judging. Look.
It's like someone wanted you to that cat.
I gave a review on Twitter, and my box quote for the fucking Blu-ray is a post-apocalyptic orgy on the island of Dr. Moreau.
Basically, they explain the plot in a song. If you're not paying attention to the lyrics that are like kind of, it's easy to not do that. You'll miss the entire point of the musical,
actually,
which is that.
I could not understand the lyrics half the time, if I'm being real honest.
Especially when people are singing together. Whenever people are singing in unison in a musical, it's hard to understand what's being said. So don't put anything important in there. So the cats just sing about how they're jellicle cats, which is just a group of cats. They're some weird cat cult, and they go to the Jellicle Ball once a year, and that's when Old Deuteronomy. It's always said like Old Deuteronomy, like they run out of room.
Yep.
By the time they get to the end of the melody. So Old Deuteronomy, she makes the Jellicle choice, and basically this decides who gets to go to the Heavenside lair, and they get a new life. So this is a contest to see who gets to die and be reborn.
Yeah.
And basically the rest of the movie is just different cats showing up and saying, hey, this is who I am, I sing about who I am, and hopefully old Deuteronomy will pick me. He's already tired.
He's already tired.
This thing is so hard to breathe in.
Yeah.
So the first one we see is Jenny Anydots.
I hate her.
A house cat who's fat, played by Rebel Wilson, and they sing about, oh, well, she's a real lazy piece of shit. And then she's like, but at night, I teach mice how to dance. And we see mice that are mice-sized relative to the cats, who are already cat-sized relative to people, depending on the shot.
Also played by children. Super creepy, by the way.
Children, yeah. I was afraid she was going to eat the children. She did not. But when she brings the cockroaches out that she also teaches to dance, she does eat the cockroaches.
At random.
Yeah, just like, maybe like when they're disappointing her, she berates them and screams at them.
Yeah, but sometimes they're just perfectly in line doing their dances, and then she's just like, all right, I'm eating the sentient being, goodbye.
And at one point, she just unzips her own fur, and her fur is under her own fur, and also with clothing. Like, showgirl clothing under it. And that just happens.
As I was watching it, I actually stopped questioning most of the decisions made by this film, because this film got me early. I was in for its horrific ride quite early on, because there's something just magical about how strange this film is.
Yeah. And also, like, at one point you just see Macavity hanging out, which Macavity's a magic cat who, in the lyrics they say he's ginger. He's not ginger. And when you see him on the rooftops, a neon sign says Moriarty, but then it changes when he gets on there to Macavity. And he's just a magician cat, and like, he just shows up in between stuff during the movie where he just keeps kidnapping other cats so that he's the only choice that old Deuteronomy can make, which presumably she could just say, I'm not making any choice then.
By the way, a majority of the actual songs in the movie is just introduce cat.
Here's who I am. That's it.
Yeah, introduce cat, talk about what they do, and then sooner or later, by the end of it, usually they're like offed, but not actually offed. They're just, again, Macavity keeps stealing the cats, which, let me tell you, is not very well explained at all.
It's pretty crazy, because like, he just goes up to for instance, Jenny Anydots, Rebel Wilson's cat. She's the first one he grabs, and he just sort of goes, and she disappears. Like, just straight up disappears.
Yeah, like
it's real magic. He's not a fake magician cat. He's just does magic and makes people teleport.
Yeah, but I
thought she was dead at first. I thought he murdered her.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Macavity might murder. He has actual human wanted posters on.
This cat is a bad cat.
This cat has a bounty on him from humans.
Yes, and yeah, as you said, apparently has broken every human law. And I like to believe that also includes tax evasion. I like to think that Macavity has cheated on his taxes. He has unclaimed tuna that the IRS is all over him for.
But you know, Macavity's a bad cat.
Yes.
But Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat. And he shows up, played by Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo has the best performance in this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And his singing's actually pretty great, and he's fun.
I'm bothered by Jason Derulo cat, by the way, because Jason Derulo's actually sort of hot.
You're just hearing that going, I want to f that cat.
I do not want to f that cat, but it wants me.
You don't want to f that cat.
You know what? That's maybe the better way to put it. It's this little cat homunculus that I could not.
Are you?
Yes, he is. So it's terrifying, it's uncomfortable, and again, it's my favorite part of the movie. The parts where you don't know how you feel, but you are absolutely about it.
During his number, which basically his song is like, Rum Tum Tugger is a cat that f***s. Like, that's the whole song.
Rum Tum Tugger. He f***s.
And they go to a milk bar, which seems like it would be made for cats, but it's human-sized. I guess humans in London have a milk bar. And at one point he just goes, milk! And then they all just meow, like actually just start meowing. Adult humans start doing that. It's weird.
Idris Elba talked a little bit about the way that they got into character for the cats, and it sounded like a joke. He talked about how, like, we learned how to meow and how to get into the mind of the cat and how to really be the cats.
They sniffed each other. He mentioned that.
Yeah,
they sniffed each other.
And I was like, that's, okay, real funny, Idris Elba. And I'm starting to believe
it happened.
That all was true.
It happened. Tom Hooper, by the way, is the director of this movie. He's weird. He made Les Miserables, which I thought was okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
He made King's Speech, which I really enjoyed. He made The Danish Girl, which sucks. Basically, his career has just been like progressively making worse films. And Les Miserables, it got some critiques, and they're fair. But I thought it was an alright movie. I enjoyed it. It was the only way I experienced Les Miserables. I didn't see it.
So yeah, I mean, not a lot of people have actually seen Les Miserables.
It's long, and it's expensive to go to it.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people, the only way that they've ever seen it, they've either listened to the soundtrack and just connected the dots, or they saw the movie.
But yeah, that's the director. He's an artsy director. He directed this like an artsy, weird auteur movie, but cats.
Let me go out of my way to say that there was a lot of time and effort put into this movie. Which let's talk about the special effects a little bit, because I feel like that is an appropriate thing to talk about. So these sometimes it looks, not going for the aesthetic, because the aesthetic is terrifying, but the actual effects themselves sometimes are actually pretty good. The movie can
the
look.
animators do their best before they get shut down.
And I want to point out that the sets are sometimes pretty cool. I'm actually pretty impressed by how some of the sets look. But let me tell you,
I think they're all CG though.
Some of them are definitely not CG. Some of them are.
There's a lot of CG.
Yeah, there's a lot of CG. But the thing that really threw me off is that at no point in this film, at literally no point in this film, did I actually feel like they were tiny. I always felt like they are in a giant environment.
Either way, like I felt at the beginning that they were tiny, and that's when it's the most disturbing. Is when you actually start to buy that they're tiny little people running around as if they're cats. That's when it's the scariest.
Yeah, that is definitely the worst.
Like when they're in the human house. That's when it's fucking scary.
No,
we can't skip to there yet.
No.
But we're on Rum Tum Tugger, which at this point in the movie, all of a sudden they cut to Rebel Wilson, who just makes a few jokes that she's just kind of improvising on the fly. It looks like, and I was like, oh. That's kind of breaking the movie when you do that, because I know that's not in the original story. I'm not immersed right now.
Yeah.
You've unimmersed me with Rebel Wilson making jokes.
If I'm being honest with you, that only adds to my enjoyment for this movie. Because I don't enjoy movies ironically. I'm not the kind of guy who sits down and watches a bad movie to enjoy it ironically.
This movie's fun to watch.
It is.
Like, it gets a little boring halfway through, to be perfectly honest. Once it starts to, the novelty of it starts to wear off, it gets a little dull. But if you're with friends, you can have fun the whole way through.
Did you know the Alamo Drafthouse is actually putting together movie screenings specifically where you can just go crazy for this film?
Just for cats?
Just for cats.
Good. That's what this movie deserves.
So, yeah, so she shows up, she starts being that...
Just being Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
And it's weird. And also, after Rum Tum Tugger, first, they don't mention it here, but that's when we meet, what's her name? Her name's Grisabella. And she's a whore cat.
Really?
That's what's going on.
I just thought that she was used by McCavity and then thrown away when he didn't
As
need
a
her
whore
anymore.
cat.
Oh, no.
She's a prostitute cat. But like they're all like, "F off, prostitute cat. No one likes you. Go away." They're just slut shaming her all over the place. It's very rude.
Oh.
And she's sad, and I do kind of feel bad for the character. If it wasn't freaky to watch, I would feel worse for this character with everyone being mean to her. But it's horrifying, so it doesn't matter. I can't be actually invested in anything.
I'm actually really surprised that was the problem. She's a whore, and so none of us want to hang out with her.
Presumably, she might have just done bad stuff with...
I'm pretty sure that's the entire thing, is that she did bad shit with McCavity, and that's why...
Maybe, but I was getting the impression that she was like, she's filthy, she's a slut cat.
They're cats, they're all... You know what?
I thought it was like misogyny, because you had Rum Tum Tugger right before. And it's like, he's the male cat. He's allowed to sleep around. But woman sleeps around. She's a horrible whore cat. She needs to go away.
Catsogyny. It's not a laughing matter.
Meowsogyny.
Meowsogyny! There we go.
Meowsogyny!
We workshop that. We work cat. So Grisabella is a poor victim of meowsogyny. She's on the out. Everyone treats her like shit.
But the white cat, whatever her name is like, because who gives a shit?
Oh yeah. It's Tinkerella or something. Tinkerbella.
Let's see.
Victoria.
That's just Victoria. She's the one with the normal name. She's the only one with the normal name.
Oh, I think
she's your viewpoint cat.
I actually think Taylor Swift cat's the ballerina. Anyway.
It doesn't matter.
So Victoria is obviously.
She's like, oh well, she seems nice enough, and then the other cat's like, go away.
So she is on the outs. Everyone treats her like shit, and immediately, by the way, I was like, oh, she's the Jellicle choice.
Oh yeah, no. You set up the underdog. She's gonna win.
Yeah.
But Next comes Buster Jones, played by James Corden. The other people sang about how Jenny Anydots was a fat piece of shit.
Congratulations!
But
We've got
Buster Jones screams loud and proud, "I'm a fat piece of shit!"
Yep.
Like bourgeois cat.
Yeah, he is the bourgeois cat. And
Who boasts about his weight and shares food scraps from the garbage. Now, there's a bit here that directly contradicts the lyrics of the song, and again, it's just a weird comedy beat that's obviously not in the musical where they try to bounce him up.
But it was
And
such a funny bit, though. I laughed.
It was all right, but like James Corden goes, I'm sensitive about my weight. And he's like, you're thinking about how proud you are to be fat. What are you talking about? You're sensitive about your weight, you dumbass.
What was his name again?
Bustopher Jones. And I love that name.
Yeah, no. Some of the names in this are actually
T.S.
kind of
Eliot
like...
knows how to come up with good... By the way, it's based on a poem by T.S. Eliot, or
Right.
a group of poems by T.S. Eliot.
Yeah. I'm a big fan, personally, of a lot of the names in here. Mr. Mistopheles, Bustopher Jones, Rum Tum Tugger, Victoria.
And Victoria also happens, right after Bustopher Jones, Victoria meets mischievous twins, Mungo, Jerry, and Rumpelteazer. They're twins. Okay, I didn't know if they were twins, or if they were a couple. Maybe it's both. It gives off that weird vibe.
It does. Oh, it 100% gives off
But that's because all the cats in this movie want to...
Yeah.
They're horny cats.
They are oh my god.
Everyone keeps talking about how this film is monstrously horny.
It is super horny.
It's terrifyingly horny. Mungo, Jerry, and Rumpelteazer, which they always say, Mungo, Jerry, Rumpelteazer.
That's terrifyingly accurate.
And they like to just go into other people, like humans' houses, and steal stuff. This is also where a dog shows up in the movie. You never see it.
Yeah, you never see it. And I'm sad that we never got to see it.
I'm so curious if it looks like just an actual human, like normal dog, or if it's a human person in a dog costume, just going.
I want to see the fucking Goliath dog that just comes in. That is twice as big as any of the cats.
And that's when the magical cat. Of the Jellicle cats that isn't McCavity shows up, who you don't actually learn his name until like his song comes up at the end of the movie.
They bring it up like once or twice.
They bring it up, but do you learn his name?
I mean, I only did because I had heard about the magical Mr. Mistopheles before I went to go see the film.
His name is Mr. Mistopheles, which is like saying he's Mr. Satan.
They're all demons. Like, let's get it out there. Every single character in this thing these are little demon cats. Or are demon humans that look like cats?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They give me bowel-quaking fear, and I love it.
Mr. Mistopheles rescues Victoria from the dog, and then they come back, and then that's when Runnamy shows up.
Originally a guy in the stage play, now played by Judi Dench, everybody!
Dame Judi Dench. Show some goddamn respect.
That's fair.
But she's...
In the whole get-up.
It's unclear whether or not she has a lot of fur or if she's wearing a fur coat. Because Grisabella wears a fur coat for some reason.
McCavity wears a fur coat.
Until he doesn't.
And
then it's like... Dan Olson, who's a great YouTuber, has a review of cats where he talks about how you see McCavity naked, and then it unlocks something in your brain and realize all the cats are naked. They're all naked.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually an interesting effect that cartoonists will use, where if you have something that covers up another part of them, you suddenly wonder what is underneath those clothes, and if they are removed, you are suddenly made uncomfortable by the fact that they have removed those clothes and they are now naked. Like, it's with Donald Duck. You see Donald Duck doesn't have pants, but you don't worry about that because he's got these clothes that he wears all the time, and there's nothing down there.
But he takes his sailor top off.
And then suddenly you're massively uncomfortable, but it's like, that's the wrong thing you need to be focusing on. When this motherfucker comes in and then he slips down, and then all you're basically actually looking at is Idris Elba's bare naked ass covered in fur. It is...
So, I'll say, once Old Deuteronomy shows up, we get the horniest bit of the movie. Which is just everybody sort of dancing around to be like, the Jellicle Ball's starting, and they're like gyrating, and it's weird. At one point, there's breakdancing cats.
I love the breakdancing cats, to be completely honest with you.
And it just gets weird. And then I believe that's when Gus the theater cat shows up, played by Magneto.
Oh my god, I don't know how I forgot him, but yeah.
Who is introduced. They introduce Gandalf lapping milk out of a human, relative to humans size bowl, because again the scale in this movie is all over the place.
I'm betting dicks for dollars that Sir Ian McKellen had actually seen the play. And when he was asked to go do the movie...
I must be Gus the theater cat.
I mean, honestly, he is... Look, when it comes to casting in this movie, it was always going to be a terrifying thing to watch, but he's perfect. He's truly
he
perfect
can't sing,
for this role.
but he does the acting.
Yeah.
And that's the moment where Dame Judi Dench, playing a cat, scissors into the air to show how happy she is. She's like, yes. And then they seem to imply that Gus and Old Deuteronomy.
And I'm okay with that.
Is that true in the normal music?
I don't care. Do you think I care about how canonical this is?
You don't care about gay cats?
Of
all people, you don't care about gay cats?
I'm just saying that Judi Dench and Sir Ian McKellen make an adorable couple, and if they're cats, that's just what it is. That's the reality of the situation.
Gay cats bros.
So, yeah, there's a lot going on in this whole part of the movie. Because,
that's also where they show that Mr. Mistopheles has real magic.
Well, that's a little bit...
Because he makes lightning happen.
Oh, right.
For some reason. And Gus is like, oh, look, I did that with my skill. You shall not pass. After Gus, who also gets taken away by McCavity, just assume anyone who gets mentioned gets taken away by McCavity.
Yeah, anybody who's not the main characters, like Maine Coon characters? Maine Coon cat? It's
no.
McCavity!
McCavity.
Yeah, McCavity steals away Gus, and then we get Skimbleshanks, the railway cat.
Okay, he's got the best whole
It's my favorite
segment.
sequence in the movie, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sorry. Tap dancing cats on the rails. You're definitely off screen now. It's actually fun and enjoyable to watch.
And it's a fun song.
Yeah.
I like the song.
Yeah.
And then at the end of his number, he starts spinning around, and he just keeps spinning, and he starts flying into the air, and then just disappears.
Like, what?
And I love seeing like recordings of screenings where just people see that happen. They just start going, "Whoa, yeah!" The movie's fucking crazy again.
Yeah.
And that's when McCavity shows up with all his
entourage.
Yeah. Oh, though I should say, at one point, Grisabella's outside, and then she sings a version of Memories. The first version of Memories.
Yeah. So
and Victoria's there, and then Victoria sings her own song. That's kind of meandering and weird, and then
meandering.
And then you learn that Taylor Swift wrote that song. That's there for your consideration song.
Really?
Yeah, it's not gonna win.
By the way, Memories is not a terrible song.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's
a ballad, so it's boring. Like all ballads and musicals are boring. Fight me, but
I really liked the song from Les Miserables. This actually just felt like that song, though. Are you kidding?
We have a dog.
Well, Pollicle Dog to join our Jellicle Cat. Come here.
Well, now she's off screen. Tyler's dog is in the studio for our Cats video. So yeah, the Beautiful Ghost song is written by Taylor Swift, and it's forgettable.
It's not just forgettable, I literally do not remember the song.
They reprise it. Old Deuteronomy sings it too.
Oh my god.
It's just that forgettable. So that happens, but then Skimbleshanks happens, and then Skimbleshanks disappears. Then McCavity shows up, and Taylor Swift is also in there with Catnip.
Yes.
What's her name? Bomblerina.
She's
named like a hobbit, like a dwarf in The Hobbit.
Yeah. And by the way, she is the sexiest cat in the movie, and I've heard that from a lot of people. Like, okay, I kind of want to bang the Taylor Swift cat, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, first of all, it is Taylor Swift. What are you gonna do? And yeah, they actually
I'm trying to think. Do I? No.
They go out of their way, specifically in her sequence, to make her the sexiest cat in the movie, and it's.
I suppose. But yeah, they sing McCavity. Like, they sing a song about McCavity. It's like McCavity's the best, and then he's like, "Hey, I made everybody else disappear. You have to make me the jovial choice." And Old Deuteronomy's like, "Nah." And he's like, "Do it, bitch." And she's like, "Nah." And then he's like, "Okay, fine." And he makes her disappear, and they all leave. And then all the jovial cats are like, "Oh, Old Deuteronomy's gone. All is lost.
Who's gonna die now?"
No one gets to die now. And
so Victoria's all like, "We've got our own magical cat."
Yeah, and so she's like, "Hey, Mr. Mistopheles, make Old Deuteronomy come back. Teleport her here." And he's like, "What?"
Okay, I want to point out that at this point in the film, the stuff has happened that you're like, okay, is this magic or is this a metaphor? And at this point...
I just knew it was mad. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't think anything in this movie was a metaphor for anything.
You know, I'm trying... My suspension of disbelief is so all over the place in this film that when people start magicking away, I just don't know what's happening exactly. But apparently here, in fact, 100%, as far as this movie and the musical is concerned, Mr. Mistopheles has to magic a cat back.
Yeah, here it says, Mr. Mistopheles uses his power to conjure old Deuteronomy back. So, like, they sing, oh, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical
Mr. Mistopheles.
And then he tries to magic her back. Doesn't work.
Nope.
And it's like, oh.
No.
You know what'll make it actually work?
Do it again.
Oh, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. And so they sing it again, and then he tries again. Still doesn't work.
Nope.
They're like,
no Deuteronomy.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's try something else. Oh, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. So he tries again. Third time's a charm, right? Nah, it still doesn't work. So they're like, oh, I guess. Oh, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. They just keep saying it louder. Did that hurt?
Just a little bit.
Good. And then he tries again, and it's like, oh, I guess it didn't work. But then...
Well, she's dead. Everybody, wrap this whole shit up. Jellicle Bull's off. Nobody's dying.
But it turns out, no, old Deuteronomy, you spit on me. Old Deuteronomy's right behind them. And then they say, oh, she's here. And then she looks at them in the eyes and then goes, oh, never was there ever a cat so... And yeah, so it sings it again, and then they do another reprise of the chorus, even louder. And then they finally end that fucking song. Meanwhile, the other cats who got kidnapped are on a boat, and they kill another cat. That's Growl Tiger.
That's Growl Tiger.
He doesn't actually matter.
No, not even a little bit.
And then they're like, okay, but we still have to make the jellicle choice, and no one else is here. And then Victoria's like, I know somebody, and then she brings in Grisabella, and Grisabella sings another version of Memories, and it's really intense. Like, she's crying, she has snot on her nose, because Jennifer Hudson does as best a job as she can.
Oh yeah, no, like
she sings and acts her heart out.
I want to point out that everybody in this film,
they do their best.
Literally everybody, is doing their goddamn best.
Yeah. I did not expect to come out of the saying Jason Derulo was the best one, but I expected to think Jason Derulo was annoying, but nah.
I mean, he plays the right character for the right amount of time.
Yeah, and he screams milk. So yeah, Grisabella comes in, she sings her song. And then old Deuteronomy's like, you're the jellicle choice. And she's like, oh, I get to die?
Yeah.
Finally?
Although, honestly, if you've been living the life that she's been living, like eating off scraps, completely dejected from society, yeah, no, there's a part of me over here is like, yeah, no, put that girl out of her misery. Give her...
That's basically what it is. She's singing about how she remembers when times are good and times suck now. She really wants to die.
Yeah.
Old Deuteronomy's like, yeah, you deserve to die. And so they lift her up with that's what's happening.
I know.
They lift her up through a chandelier, and then it turns out there's a air balloon connected to it.
Oh yeah.
The air balloon is relative to humans, but for the cats, because again, scale is weird in this movie. So is the chandelier. Chandelier is not human size; it is chandelier sized for cats.
The whole place seems.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then she flies away on a chandelier that's also an air balloon. Everyone's watching her, and it's finally morning. And
as she rises into the clouds, the sun hits her. The whole air balloon, including her, just turns into gold and then fades away.
Yeah, but that's actually the very end, and we're not at the very end yet, because there's a moment where old Deuteronomy just sort of looks directly at you, just looks you in the eyes, and then it starts telling you about cats.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's how you make friends with cats, give them food. There's one point where she just starts licking her chops, and it's amazing and horrible.
Look, I
want it to be a meme.
I want everybody to know here that cats are not dogs.
They sing that triumphantly.
Yeah,
cats are not dogs.
They just want they repeat it that cats are not motherfucking dogs.
A cat is not a dog. That's not the melody. I don't remember. This song is very forgettable.
Yeah, a cat is not a dog.
Yeah, like she's mostly talk singing like that guy in My Fair Lady. For people who have seen that musical from the '60s, I'm one of them.
Nobody.
I don't know if that's universal. No. Lots of people have seen My Fair Lady.
No.
It stars Audrey Hepburn.
Who?
Does it? No, maybe it doesn't. No, I'm making that up.
You should be more mad that I said who.
I don't care. But
So yes,
doesn't
the
star Audrey Hepburn.
the entire thing is literally just her looking at the screen, talking about cats, talking about the food that they like, how you should treat them, and it's like, hey, by the way, everybody who watched this entire film about cats, if you didn't quite understand enough about cats, let us give you the TLDR on cats, and that's the last song of the movie, and it won't stop. It refuses to stop.
It is Audrey Hepburn. I had to check. Audrey Hepburn stars in My Fair Lady, but she doesn't sing the song, so they had to dub her over. But yeah, old Deuteronomy just looks at the camera, talks to you for a while, you specifically, and talks about how to make friends with a cat, and basically it's like, leave me alone until I want to be talked to.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it becomes obvious that the poems written by T.S. Eliot are for children. Mm-hmm. This movie does not act like it's for children. This movie is horny and weird and not for children.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely not feel comfortable showing this movie to my kids. Are you kidding me? Oh no. This would
awaken things.
This movie could have worked actually half decently if it had just been a CG, like completely CG movie with some fun cat designs and some reworking of the songs and plot.
You know how it would have worked? How it was going to be made in the 90s, which Steven Spielberg wanted to do it in the 90s as an animated film.
You know what? I bet you dicks for dollars that could have been
and if it was the 90s and Steven Spielberg was connected with Amblin Entertainment, it probably would have been Don Bluth.
Yes! It would have almost certainly been Don Bluth. And a Don Bluth Cats movie, then again, he also did All Dogs Go to Heaven, so would that have been a bit, contradictory?
No, Cat's not a dog. It's fine.
You know what? You're right. Oh my god. Cats are not dogs? Cats aren't dogs.
And they also don't dance. Except in this movie, they definitely dance.
They dance.
I've never seen that movie, by the way.
They dance.
I've been told to watch Cats.
I assure you, cats do dance and cats don't dance. By the way, Cats Don't Dance, way better cat movie. Highly recommended.
It's not on Blu-ray.
It's not. It's on DVD, but you can get, I think you can get it high def, maybe HD on stream. It doesn't matter. It's directed by the same guy who directed Emperor's New Groove. And you can tell, it feels like that all the way through. It's got all the witty dialogue. It's got amazing musical segments.
Turn a review for Cats Don't Dance.
Watch Cats Don't Dance.
Also watch Cats. It's fun.
Yeah. If you want it, so again, TLDR for Cats.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. It is not a good movie.
But it's so fun to watch.
It's my favorite. It is in my top.
I'm not even a person who watches bad movies for fun.
Yeah, I don't like doing that, especially movies that know.
But this is an experience.
Yeah, movies that know they're bad.
That sucks.
Yeah. No, those.
This isn't trying to be funny. It's just trying to be, and it is what it is, and it does try to be funny, and that's the worst part of the movie. But yeah, it's not even that those jokes are bad. It's just like, no, you broke it. You broke it. You can't actually be funny.
It adds to me. It added to the experience. The fact that they try and fail. They try and fail.
James Corden has a bit where he just completely breaks character. Just is James Corden for a second. It's like it's pronounced Thames. You can't rhyme. You can't just say Thames. And it's a whole bit where he's just himself talking.
Yeah.
It's weird.
This movie, the reason that Cats succeeds is that it tries and fails. That is literally the reason that this movie is so watchable. It tries so hard and it fails.
Got so far, but in the end, it didn't really matter.
Yeah,
because this movie has flopped big time.
Yeah,
it's not making any money. It's not going to win a single award at the Oscars.
And it's amazing because it's getting hate watched.
They wanted awards at the Oscars, by the way. They were going for it.
I bet they were.
And it did not happen, and it will not happen.
I am almost certain that 2/3 of the way into making this movie, they've realized what they had made. How could they not? I'm pretty sure that once it got to the actual, once it got to the effects and everything, all of the post, they were like...
they're like, we can just patch it.
And they did!
Because, yeah...
There's a patch
I think I was lucky enough to catch it before the patch. But honestly, the movie's so all over the place anyway. I didn't really notice a lot of the visual glitches because I was just accepting what the movie looked like.
Yeah, me too. I'm not even sure what scenes were supposed to be
I wasn't looking for that
finished.
stuff. I was just like, I'm in this movie, whatever this movie is. But I guess that's just talking about Cats. I guess there's nothing else to talk about really, right?
Yeah, no, I guess not. So yeah, go watch Cats Don't Dance. It's on DVD. They finally released a widescreen version. They didn't release that for a long time. And
really?
Yeah, no.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
And I haven't even watched that movie and I'm mad.
Yeah, no. So it's finally out there. It's DVD. It's widescreen. No Blu-ray release because Warner Brothers doesn't care about furries.
And be sure to catch the George Lucas special edition of Cats eventually. I guess that's the first release they're going to do. is going to be the special edition.
Yeah, I doubt
They're
we're gonna
not
get
going to
the
release the unpatched version.
Oh my god. Do you know how much money I would absolutely buy the Sonic the Hedgehog movie Blu-ray if they had the version with the unchanged Sonic in there.
If they don't have deleted scenes of like what they finished of that Sonic, I think that is a miscalculation on their part.
I agree.
People will pay extra to get that.
They will. Or
and-
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. But that said, I guess that's bye. That's the end of the video.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this like my videos and just peter out.
Yeah. So yeah. No, that was a. You know what? Honestly, I'm really glad we did this. We weren't sure what we were gonna do about cats.
Yeah.
We'll probably have the.
Easy to end the video. We still got to let it end.
Oh man, this coffee had been sitting around since before. I wasn't able to drink it before we started.